This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, today we are going to talk about incremental load. Okay. So incremental load or delta load, both are same. Okay. Whoever is don't know this, remember in interview, if somebody is asking how you are loading your delta, how you are loading your incremental copy. So all these things are the same. Okay. Incremental load or delta load are same. So now incremental load or delta load from SQL to Blob storage. So we are going to copy data from SQL database to the Blob storage, but it's an incremental or delta load. What is the difference between this incremental and a full load? Whatever we have done as of yesterday, that was a full load. Complete data we are taking from the table and loading into the Blob storage. Okay. But in today's session, what we are going to do, instead of copying entire data which we have in the table every day, we are going to take only incremental data or delta data. So let me give you the example so that you can able to understand. Okay, let's consider this is the November 1st. So on November 1st, I have loaded 1000 records to the table called customer table. Now when I run my pipeline is going to copy 1000 records to the Blob storage. On November 2nd, I have loaded one more 1000 records. Now total how many records? Total 2000 records. Now these 2000 records I am going to copy into the Blob storage. Now November 3rd, I am going to add one more 1000 records. So now what is the total records I have in the customer table? 3000. These 3000 I am not moving, man. Okay, fine, don't worry. See, I will tell you. So I am just giving you the example. So once you understand the example, I will discuss other things. Okay. So now the total records which we have is 3000. Now these 3000 records, when I run my pipeline is going to read full data from the table, customer table, and it will load it into the Blob storage. Now on November 4th, I will load 1000 more records. Now what is the total records I have in my customer table?
4,000.
Very good. So I have a 4000 records in my customer table. When I run my pipeline, how many records I am going to copy? Very good. So 4000. Now from this you need to understand, out of this 4000, how many records you already copied yesterday? Today you are copying 4000, but out of this 4000, how many records you already copied previous day?
Thousand.
Okay.
Previously 3000 records.
Yeah, good. So 3000 records. See, on November 1st, I have loaded 1000 records to my table. Okay, these 1000 records, date, table name. So blob path. November 1st, I have loaded 1000 records to my table. So now when I run my pipeline, it is going to copy 1000 records. On November 2nd, I have loaded 1000 records more, meaning for the existing 1000 records, I have added 1000 more records. Now, when I run my pipeline is going to copy 2000 records. On November 3rd, okay, I have added 1000 more records, meaning 1000, total 2000 I already have in the table. Now I am going to add 1000 more records. Now when I run my pipeline is going to copy 3000 records. On November 4th, I have 3000 records in the table already. For this I am going to add 1000 more records. Now I am going to, when I run my pipeline is going to copy 4000 records. Now out of these 4000 records, how many records you already copied? See, these 3000 records you already copied in the previous day. Same 3000 records plus this 1000 records, total 4000 records you are trying to copy into your Blob storage. Meaning here, whatever data you have copied, same data you are going to copy again and again. This we are not going to do in real time. We are going to avoid these kind of things. We are going to take only the data which is added. That is called the incremental data or delta data. delta or incremental means new records, only new records you are going to take. See, I have 1000 records. These are the 1000 records, so I have just copied 1000 records. Here I have 1000 plus 1000, so 2000. Out of 2000, how many records are new records? How many records are new records?
1000
I will
records.
copy. So only 1000 records are the new records. So I will copy only 1000. Here how many records are new? 1000. Here how many records are new? 1000. So now you see in incremental or delta, I'm going to copy only 1000 only daily. So here, as your data size grows, you are going to copy all the data. This is not recommended. This is a full load. This is a incremental load. I hope everybody understood, right? So this is very, very important. So I'm not sure whoever is not able to understand this, I can tell you can you can leave the training, because what happens is ultimately whatever you do loads, you are going to do two types of load mainly, that is full load and incremental load. If you're not able to understand this, you should ask me. Otherwise, whatever training you are taking, that is waste. Okay, because in the interview, the first question that they are going to focus is on these things. On top of these things, we will have different challenges, all those things we are going to see. But you need to understand what is full load, what is delta load, what is the difference between these two. It is very, very important. Please let me know if anybody required one more time of explanation. I can do that, but don't sit idle. If you're not able to understand, please let me know. Everybody understood? If anybody is not able to understand, please let me know, friends. I can able to explain, but I am repeating again, if you're not able to understand these things, it's very difficult for you to get job on ADF now, because these are the main things that you will do in ADF. Everybody's clear? If anybody is not able to understand, please ping in private at least. I can able to explain. Okay, let me explain once again. Yeah, let me explain once again for few people. See, let's imagine I have a customer table. Okay, on customer table, I have loaded 1000 records. Okay, now my pipeline, what my pipeline is going to do, see, this is basically for full load. I'm talking this for full load. This is for delta. Okay, now you see here. Okay, on November 1st, you just focus on November 1st. Okay, now how many records I have added to the, 1 second, let me just come back from the beginning. See, let me just write down everything from there. So if it is a full load, see here I have a date, table name, and a blob path. On November 1st, what happened into this? This is the table which is fresh. There is no data. Into this table, I loaded 1000 fresh records. So when I run my pipeline is going to pick these all records and it will load it into the blob storage. How many records it loaded? 1000 records. Now, November 2nd. So what I will do for the how many records we have already in the table? 1000. To the 1000, I will add maybe 500 records. Okay. Now, what are the records? Total records we have in the customer table? 1500. So when I run my pipeline is going to pick these 1500 records and it will load it into the blob storage. On November 3rd, I have a 1500 records already in the table. To that, I will add some 2000 records today. Okay. So now what happens? Total records is 3500. So 3500 records I have loaded into the blob storage on November 4th. So I have already 3500 records in the table. Now I will add 1500 records. Now total how many? 5000 records I am loading into the blob storage. So whatever data is adding, doesn't matter what data added, entire data from the customer table I will take and load it into the blob storage. Full load means full data, whatever data is there as of now, everything I will take and load it into the blob. So this is called a full load. This is called a full load. This is called full load. Okay. Now let's see why this full load is not a good option. Why we are going into the incremental or delta. incremental or delta. Why incremental load or delta is important? Now you see, this is a date, next table name, next blob. You see a date. So date I can say same November 1st. Let's say 1000 records I have copied. Now in this delta load, what I'm doing, I will just copy 1000 records which are new to this table. Now November 2nd. So now 1000 records. For this I have added 500 records. Now can you tell me, out of these 1500, now see 1000 records are existing, this 500 are new. Out of this 1500, how many records are new? How many records?
500.
Very good. So only 500 are the records which are new. Okay, these are the 500 records which are new. But already these 1000 records already you loaded. Now this 500 also loaded, meaning complete data which you have as of November 2nd, everything you loaded into the Blob store. Now come to November 3rd. So here, as of today, we have a 1500 records. To this, I added 2000 records. Now, out of 3500, how many records you already copied?
1500.
Very good.
1500 copy.
You already copied. So I need to take only 2000 records. I need to collect only 2000 records. 2000 records are the new records. I need to copy only 2000 records. Next, on November 4th. So already I have a 3500 records. To this, I am just adding 1500 records. So now total, how many records? 5000. So do I need to copy 5000 or how many I need to copy? Only 1500. So these are the only new records. 1500 are the new records. So I'm going to copy only 1500. Now you see in full load, the changes, the number of records are keep on growing, because you are, as the new records added, you are every time you are loading full load. But here you see you are identifying the new records. Based on the new records, you are copying into the Blob storage. You are identifying the new records, and based on that you are copying into the Blob storage. Is it clear to all of you now? Please respond, friends, because these are very, very important. Okay, fine. If you're not able to understand today, tomorrow session and next few sessions is very, very difficult. I mean to say. Fine. This is very, very important. I hope everybody understood this. I'm going to the slides. Okay. Now we'll see what we are going to learn in today's session. We will learn scenarios, then what is incremental load, how to implement pipeline for incremental load, table syntax, stored procedure, and estimations, prerequisite, and required resources. All these you know. Next demo, we will create SQL database. We will create table, stored procedure, blob storage, data factory v2. Linked service we will create using integration runtime. Multiple data sets we will create. We will create pipeline, debug pipeline, run pipeline, and monitor pipeline. You know all these things. Let's go to the scenarios directly. In scenarios, we are going to see how to copy tables from Azure SQL database to the Blob storage incrementally. Okay, next, how to maintain last processed value for each table. So how you will identify how many values you copied into the Blob storage? For that, we need to identify, we need to store something called last processed value. What it means? What is the record you have copied last time? Till what record you copied? That particular last processed values we need to maintain in a sum table. How to maintain that? Then for this particular requirement, we are going to use lookup, copy activity, and stored procedure activity. Now, so what is incremental load or delta load? Okay, so let me show you. See, full load. First, let's see what is full load. Full load means entire data dump that takes place the first time a data source is loaded into sync. So when you are loading first time, what happens in industry, client have a lot of data. They already collected last 3 years of data. So the 3 years of data we need to load it once. After that, everyday data, whatever is coming, only you need to identify only that particular data, whatever data is adding to that table, that new data you need to load. Okay, see, full load means entire dump, you need to load it into the sync. What is incremental load? Delta between target and source data is dumped at a regular intervals. Maybe you can say I want to check. What you can do is you have last 3 years data you have loaded, that is a full load. Now let's imagine 2019 December 31st you loaded the data. Now 2020 January 1st, this is the fresh. Now January 1st, let's say maybe you have a regular intervals, means you can say January 1st morning 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that 4 hours whatever data comes I can able to load. 4 hours data I can load, or you can load 6 hours data at a time, or you can identify last 24 hours data, maybe on end of the 1st January. What happens end of the 1st January means first date is completed, means day will have a 24 hours. So you can say last 24 hours whatever data comes, that data I want to pick. That is up to you. So based on the how data is going to come into the table, some tables are going to load data, very huge amount of data will load it to the some of the tables. Example, you see any transactions table. Let's go with any Flipkart or Amazon websites, right? How many people will place order per minute? A lot of orders will come. So if you look at all those transactions, transaction information, the transaction table is going to get a lot of data. So you need to load maybe every 1 hour or every 2 hours. Otherwise, if you're trying to load 1 month data, it is very huge. You will have a challenges. That's why what we will do is somehow we will load the last 1 hour data. If we are going to keep, so very simple. Now you say that you have some apples are keeping in your home. So let's imagine on January 1st, every hour they are going to keep one apple in your home. So if you are eating every apple every hour one by one, what happens is you are going to reduce the stress or pressure. Otherwise what happens, if you're not eating any apple, you are waiting up to 24 hours, 24 apples will be there at a time. If you want to eat 24 apples, it is very difficult. So that's why what we will do, so every 1 hour we will eat one apple, because we know every 1 hour one apple will come. So one apple we will eat, so that we will not have much problems, because it, regularly we are eating, right? So when apple comes, immediately we are eating. So in the same way, delta means you just wait until 1 hour, whatever data collected into the table for 1 hour, just to take the data, load it into the blob storage. Sometimes what happens, table is very table is not going to get the data much, then such type of tables you can load for every 24 hours or every weekly once. So that's why in real time, right? So we have something called weekly pipeline, monthly pipeline, daily pipeline, hourly pipeline. What it means is, hourly pipeline means hourly we are going to load the data into the destination from source. So daily pipeline means daily once we are going to pick the data from tables and load it into the destination. Weekly pipeline means 1 week data we will collect in a table, that 1 week data we will collect and load it into the blob storage, something like that. So if you are collecting data which is added to the table, that is called an incremental load. Instead of loading entire data which you have as of now, what you are going to identify is, you are going to identify what data I already copied, what data is new. So you are going to identify those things. Now see how you will identify till what record you have copied last time is, there are two possibilities most of the time. One possibility is by using a ID column. Second one is by using a date column. Don't worry, I will explain both of those things. See, the last exact date is stored so that only records added after this date are loaded. What happens, so maybe you are going to mark something. We will go with very simple example so that you can able to understand. Now let's go back to this one only. Now if I'm giving the IDs, if I'm giving the, let's focus on incremental only. If I'm giving unique numbers, unique some primary key or identity column I'm generating for all these records. So now what happens, when you loaded 1000 records, now you know 1 to 1000 numbers will be generated. For each record, unique number will be given. The maximum number here you will get is 1000. So what you need to do, you need to store this 1000 in some other table. This is called a last processed value. Last time I have processed data up to 1000 records. Now when you are, now you see here, now you have 1500 records in our source side. Now what you are trying to do, you are going to tell that I want to fetch the records which has ID column greater than 1000. Greater than 1000 means how many records we have. See, 1000 records is having a, first thing is you need to understand what is identity column or what is unique like primary column, right? So what happens is primary column or some ID column is there. So for each record, some incremental value will be given. Okay. So likewise, now if you have loaded 1000 records, something like this, we have a 1000 here. Okay. Now what I have done, these 1000 records I have loaded into the blob storage. Next day, okay, these 1000 records I copied to the blob storage. The 1000 number I stored in my another table to identify till what number I already copied. Okay, now next day 1001, 1002, and up to 1500 records I got. Now what I will do, this is my reference. I will identify, okay, this is the number. Okay, meaning till this record, from this record and above, I already copied. Whatever records I have after this number, these are the new records I'm going to identify. These are the new records I'm going to identify: 1000, 1000, 2015, 1500, up to 1500. Now I will load this 1500 records to the my destination. Now what I need to do, now I need to update my last processed value to 1500. Okay, now next day I'm going to run the pipeline without adding any record. So now what happens, I will just try take this reference. I will say select star from table where ID greater than 1500. Do I have any records greater than this 1500? Tell me friends, do I have any records in greater than 1500?
No, no records.
Okay, very good. So we don't have any records. So now what happens, 0 records will copy, meaning they won't, it is not going to copy any records. Okay, so likewise it is going to happen everything. Now this is with respect to the what, ID. So there is another possibility in delta is date. Okay, example, let's say I have data on 2020 0101. Let's go with 000000. Okay, from this time, okay, at this time I have loaded 1000 records. But still pipeline will execute. Yeah, still pipeline will execute. Yes, you are right. So still pipeline will execute. Okay. Yes. So if you want to avoid, in such cases, if you want to avoid, you can do that. So we can configure those things as well. Okay. So fine. Yeah. Now what I'm trying to tell you is on January 1st, 2020. Okay. Maybe you can say up to 0000. I have 0 records in my table. Okay, now when I run my pipeline, 0 records copied, meaning so till this particular time, this is my last processed value is now date. My last processed value is date. So what I will do, at this particular time I ran my pipeline, my pipeline copied 0 records because there is no record at this time. Now I will run my pipeline again at 0 1 0 2 0 0 0. Okay, now what happens, in this last 24 hours I collected 1000 records. Now what happens, is these 1000 records I'm going to copy into my destination. Now when I copied these 1000 records into my destination, now you see I'm going to update saying that till January 1st, 2nd, till 2nd, whatever records I have, all those things I copied into my destination. Okay, this is the indication, this is the last process value. Till this particular date and time, whatever records I have in the table, all those things I copied into my destination. Next, 2020 01 03. Now what happens, and next day I got only 500 records. Now what happens is I will say select star from table where records load date, you can consider it as a load date or something. Load date is greater than last processed value, greater than this. Okay, after this time, after this date and time, how many records added? You see up to 30000, you got only 500 records between 2 and 3, January 2nd to January 3rd. In between, on that particular day I got only 500 records. So I will copy these 500 records, I will update this particular date saying that 03. Okay, next day 2020 01 04 00000. Now I will say 2000 records I collect. Now what happens till here? Till here you already copied. Now you need to say whatever records I got after this time, after this date and time. So those records I want to collect. How many records I got? So 2000. I will load these 2000 records and I will update till what date and time I loaded the data, till this date and time. So I'll just mark it here. Okay, understood, friends? You will have little confusion with respect to date, but that's why I just explained with ID. First, once we have good knowledge on incremental load with ID, then we can go with the date as well. Okay, both the same steps. Okay. Clear? Everybody's clear on this? Pawan clear? Ashish, Parmesh, Jitendra, Shiva, Sudhir. Okay, fine. Let's come back. You understood it? We'll see now. See, first full load and incremental load difference. Full load means all rows in source data will be copied. Incremental load means new and updated records only. Whatever records came, only those records you are going to pick. So it will take more time. Why it will take more time? Because every time you are going to take a lot of data. Less time because you are going to take very few records, only new records. Difficulty, it is low difficulty because anyhow simply you are saying take everything, load it. Incremental load is, it will have some complexity because the difficulty is high because ETL must be checked for new and updated row. So what is the new one? What is the updated record? Recovery from an issue is harder. So you need to, it is very difficult to find out the new and updated records. So we need to carefully take care of for this last processed value. Okay, understood this? I'm going to the next slides. See, you know, this is the table. I have this particular record. This record I'm inserting into the table. So I have another record. That record also I inserted into the table. So this is how we'll get the records into the table. Now, max value from table. Now I want to ask you, what is the maximum CID I have? Maximum CID I have, maximum number.
4.
4.
I have a 4. Very good. Now, anybody know how to write a query to get the maximum CID?
Yes. Select maximum CID from table.
Select star from table where ID equals to. Okay.
ID.
Okay. If you know, we will get we will use 4, or else we'll use max command.
Okay, so right. So max function you need to use. Okay, aggregate function. Now, in the same way, CID, how you will find C joined date? Maximum C joined date. How to find? Do you know? Don't worry. Let me show you that. See. Select max CID as max value from cust. So once you apply aggregate function, something like this, on top for those functions, you will not get any header name. That's why you need to give alias name. Alias name I'm saying as max value. So when you give the max value as alias name, that value will come as a header. What is the maximum value for CID? That is 4. So 4 will come here. In the same way, when I ask select max C joined data as max value from cust. So what is the max value in this? So this is the max value 20 20 11 04 10 10. Okay, this is the one of the very important thing to understand your incremental load. Okay, whether you have a date, whether you have a CID, you need to know how to get the maximum value, maximum date or maximum ID. Is it clear to all of you? This is the first step in order to understand the incremental load. Whoever is not able to understand, please let me know. I can explain once again. No. Okay, let's go to next. Fetch records from the table based on condition. Let's say I have same table. I am writing some condition, something like this. Now tell me what records I will get when I file some query, something like this.
3, 4 will get.
Very good friends, very good. I will get 3 and 4. Okay, now in the same way, when I write something like this, what record I will get?
4.
4.
Okay, remember, I will get 4. When I write something like this, what record I will get?
Nothing will get.
Okay, I won't get anything. See, I am not getting anything. So this is the second step that you need to understand the incremental load. Okay, if you are clear with these two, like most of the things are clear to you. Okay, fine. Now you see, let me explain in detail incremental load with some sample data so that we will have a more clarity on what is incremental data. Okay, fine. Now you see, let's imagine I have a course table. This course table is having one record is added, one data factory, course duration is 100 hours. Sorry. Okay. Now, what is the maximum ID, maximum value in this? Maximum cust ID is 1. Isn't it, friends? 1. Now, what is this? This is the last processed value. Have you copied this customer ID to the destination? No. That's why I am maintaining another table called some watermark table. You can call it as, okay, or to store some last processed value. You can consider table name can be anything. Now this is the course table. Course table last processed value. As of now, I copied 0 records. The maximum number I copied is 0. See, the ID is 1 year, but as of now, I have copied till 0 records, 0 ID. Isn't it clear, friends? Now what I will do, I will copy this one record to the my blob storage into cust.cs. Now, what is the max value? Max value 1. So now you need to take this max value and you need to update here. So what I am going to do, I will say till last processed value is 1. So I am going to say I have processed the record up to 1. So meaning 1 record I copied into my destination, that is blob storage. I updated in my watermark table. Okay, here we have to understand 4 things. First, from this table you need to get the max value. How to get the max value? Tell me the query, friends, once again.
Select max.
Select max.
Very good. Select max course ID as max value from course table, courses table. Very good. Now, this is the max value. This is what? Last first value. Now, first step is, as I said, you need to get the max value from the table. I got it, max value from the table. Okay. Second thing is, I should be able to read this table. This table is having last processed value. Okay. So I am going to read a last processed value. How you can read this value 0 is select star from table where table name equal to courses. This is the watermark table. If you consider, you know, somehow you can able to get, how you will get it? Select star from watermark table. This you can consider as a watermark table. Select star from watermark table where courses, where table t name equal to courses. When I say t name equal to courses, I will get table name is course and last processed value is 0. Both I will get. Okay. If you don't know query, don't worry. I will show you everything. Now you understood. So first thing is you got the max value. Second thing is you are reading the last processed value. Now, how you will copy this record into the destination is, I'm going to write a query now saying that, carefully listen, select star from courses table. On this table, I'm going to write a query. Select star from courses means everything it is going to take, but I don't want to take everything. Now I'm going to put a condition where course ID greater than last processed value. Greater than last processed value means greater than 0. Greater than 0 means how many records I will get from this table?
1.
I have 1 record, I will get 1 record. So this is the third step. I find a query on this table. That query is going to give me this 1 record. That 1 record I will load it into the cust.cs table 5. Once I loaded, then now how many values you have processed? 0 records or 1? Now last processed value should be 0 or 1. Very good. It's a 1. So that's why I will use my stored procedure. I will use my stored procedure to update my last processed value from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Understood? So these are the steps. Let me show you here incremental. See, I will have a lookup to get the max value. Okay, see, max value is 1 at this time, you know. So look up last processed value. As of now, See, table name is cust, last processed value is 0. I will get it. Now I will pass these two, like two output of these two lookups to copy activity. Copy activity side I will file query something like that. Select star from cast, where if it is a course ID, if it is a CID, greater than last processed value. What is the last processed value here? 0. This value will go here. Now select star from, maybe you can say cast, where CID greater than 0. Now I have one record. That one record I will copy into the blob storage. After that, I have copied up to one record. So that one record I will update in my stored procedure. My stored procedure will take 2 arguments. So against what table you want to update this last processed value, I will pass the table name, that is custom table name I will pass here. Then the last processed value I will say 1. This one how I will get? So from this lookup I am going to pass the 1 value to this stored procedure, because I already got the max value. So this is the max value, I need to pass it to my lookup, my stored procedure. Clear to all of you? Please confirm, friends. Everybody's clear on this. Rest of the people, please confirm. Okay, if everybody is clear on this, then let me just move to the next one. I'm just moving to the next one. Here you see incremental load. Now what happened? I have not updated anything. Okay, I hope you are able to see. Now see, this is the table. As of now, the max value is 1. The last processed value is also 1. How last processed value is 1? You understood, right? Previously we copied up to 1 record, but as of now also in the table I have 1 record. Now when I try to copy into my like you can say custody.csv, something like this. Okay, in this table, if I'm trying to load the data, what happens here? What happens here, friends? Can you tell me how many records I will copy into custody.csv? Select star from courses or custody table. Okay, select star from custody table. Now you need to understand, in this custody table or whatever, I'm going to write something like this: select star from courses, where course underscore ID greater than 1. Greater than 1, do we have any records?
No.
No records.
Very good. So max value is 1 only. Now this one I will update back to the my last processed value. Same value will be there. Now come here. So same lookup. Now lookup will read max value 1. Last processed value I will get 1. Now copy activity I will use to copy something like this: select star from courses where CID greater than last processed value. Last processed value is 1. So greater than 1, I don't have any records. So I'm not going to copy any data. I will just update my stored procedure. I will update last processed value to again 1 only. I'm going to update last processed value to 1 only again. Clear, friends? Now in the same way, now let's imagine I added one more record. Okay. Now tell me, what is the max value?
2.
2.
Very good. So what is the last processed value?
1.
2.
2 or 1?
1. 1.
Don't confuse that. See,
Okay.
we processed up to 1 record. Okay. Last processed value is 1. Now you are copying these 2 records into your blob storage as custody.csv, whatever file you can load. Now this data, see, now max value is now 2. This max value I need to load it into the my last processed value table, that is watermark table. Now you see, first I will get max value, then I will read the last processed value. Third, then I am going to fire a query saying that select star from courses where course ID greater than 1. Greater than 1, how many records I have? Only 1 record, that is second record. I will load it into the custody table. Then once I loaded data successfully, what is the max number? Max value is 2. This 2 value I am going to update in last processed value. You see here, incremental lookup. So max value is 2, lookup last processed value is 1. So when you send these two values to the last copy activity, say select star from cast, where CID greater than last processed value. Last processed value is how much? 1. Now you greater than 1 means only one record will come. That one record you are going to copy to the blob storage. Then you are going to update your last processed value to 2, because up to 2 records you copy. Now let's go with this. I have copied one more record. I added one more record into my table. Now what is the max value? 3. What is the last processed value? 2. Okay. Now I copied these 3 records. Will I copy 3 records or 1 record?
One record.
How?
One record.
On record.
I'm going to the last processed value again. This particular max value I will update in the last processed value. Okay, same lookup activity will read max value. Last processed value will be read by this lookup. Copy activity will receive these two values, and it will fire a query select star from cast where CID greater than last processed value. Then I will update these things in a last processed value table, that is watermark table, by using stored procedure. Okay, clear friends? So I hope everybody is clear on these things. What activities I'm going to use, it is clear. Now I'm going to use a 2 lookups, one copy activity, one stored procedure activity to do this particular task. Okay, today if you understand with single table, tomorrow we are going to see multiple table incremental load, how you can do. Okay, but that's why you need to understand this one very clearly. Otherwise it is difficult for you to understand tomorrow. Tomorrow I will take, for some tables ID column, for some tables date column, I will take as a delta column. Okay, now you see copy data from SQL database to the blob storage. You know, in SQL Server you have a database. Here you have a customer table. I want to copy this data into blob storage. Today I don't want to copy entire data from the customer table. Instead of that, I want to identify the incremental. For that, you know what you need to do. You need to establish the connection data set. This data set will not select the table. Instead of that, we are going to fire a query on this table. Then I want to copy this data. Then whatever result I'm getting from source, that I want to load it into the blob storage. For that, I need to create a output data set and linked service. And then I will load this data into customer.cs. Who is going to do Azure integration runtime? Who will maintain Azure data factory? Will maintain all these things. Now, table syntax, you know, I'm not explaining all these things. So this is how we are going to insert the data. Okay, this is how we are going to select the data. Next, procedure syntax, you know, this is the create a procedure name as begin end. This is the query. Select star create procedure name as begin and select a star from first. It is going to give you all these things. Instead of that, I want to go with parameterized stored procedure. Create procedure name p1 int p2 varchar as begin end. This is the query. In this query, see, you are going to file something like this. Create proc, and you are going to take all the parameters. Those parameters you are using to insert the record. Now you see, this is important. Today we are going to use this particular query. Same parameter stored procedure. See here, create procedure name, PID and P name, or some P mobile number, right? So as begin and update, I'm updating. So this is the same stored procedure I'm going to use to update my last first value. Only parameters will change. Update customer table, instead of that watermark table. Set, I want to set ID equal to whatever ID you are going to pass max value, where table name equal to whatever table name you are passing. Against that particular table, you need to update the last process value. For that, I'm going to create the stored process, something like this. Estimations, you know, we need to create a one linked service for database, one linked service for the storage account. Data sets, we need to create as many as we want, depends on reference points. Activities, we are going to use copy activity, and other activities as we need to identify the delta load. How many pipelines, one pipeline, what type of IR we will use, Azure integration runtime. A prerequisite, we should know Azure database, blob storage, data factory integration runtime, linked service, data set activity, and pipeline. We already know all these things. Let's see, the required resources are SQL database, SQL Server, blob storage, ADF, V2. Okay, so let's go and create all these things, and then I will tell you what all things we need to create for this. Okay, come here. Let me quickly create one by one. SQL database. Now I'm going to create a database. Okay, as we already discussed all these things, let me quickly create database, all other things. Create new one. Open it. Create master program to one. Click OK. Database name I can set Cloud Pandit. Cloud Pandit SQL DB for incremental. Okay. Create a server. Cloud Pandit SQL server for incremental. Let's enter username, password. Okay. Click East US, click OK. So remaining things, Elastic Pool, sharing the resources between the databases and the computer plus storage, DTUs, the database transaction units. Just click create, review plus create. Okay. Let me take the questions in real time. We will not create source. See, as a developer, you are not going to create. Everything will be created by your admin. Admin or infra team will create and give it to you. So, but in this particular thing, we need to set up environment, right? So, for doing the demos and all, we need to set up the environment. That's why I'm just creating all these things. But having this knowledge is a good thing. Yeah. Next, we need to create a blob storage. Just go to storage account. Let's click add to create a storage accounts. Next, I think next week, whatever sessions we are going to take. So from Monday to Friday, those are very important. All those are the real-time use cases. Okay. Next, so this is the resource group and storage account name is Cloud Pandit. So once you understood this week sessions, then we can able to prepare the resume. Storage account name I can say Cloud Pandit storage for incremental. Remaining things you can keep as is. Running final validation, you can create it. Let's go here, portal.azure.com. Okay, do one thing here. Data factory, click on data factories. Click add to create the data factories. Free trial resource group is this one, and region West US, let it be Cloud Pandit PDF V2 incremental will be available. Git configuration, I will configure it later. Click review plus create. Running final validation, you can create it. Now you go and see database is still creating, storage is created, data factory is going to create in some time. Fine. Now I need to understand I already have shown you the slides. From the slides you understood, right? How many tables I need to have in my database? One is our source table. Second one is to maintain the last processed value, that is the watermark table. So I'm going to create two tables now. Okay. So you should be able to understand these things now. So let's see now. Create table. First table. CID int cname varchar c cname c location we will take. C location is also varchar 50. Okay. Now in this table, let me just insert few records. Insert into first table one. Okay, so these three are the records we have in this customer table. Now I will create a watermark table. Create table watermark table watermark, and here I will maintain table name varchar 50 and last processed value. See, this is the table which we are going to use very frequently from now. Last processed value is also, you can consider, yeah, you can consider as a number, but you consider as a varchar only. Why? Because this particular column can be a date or number. That's why in real time we will consider this one as a varchar. Okay, now you insert the record something like that. Insert into watermark table name. What is the table name? Table name is first table. For this, how many records we processed as of now? 0. Isn't it, friends? This is clear to all of you. These two tables clear to all of you. Okay. Now I need to create a stored procedure, right, to update this last process value. So create procedure. First, you can say watermark underscore user defined stored procedure as begin end. So till here, you know. Now I'm going to write update query. What you need to update? Update watermark table. I need to update watermark table. I need to update. What value you need to update? Set last processed value. I need to change. I need to update last processed value equal to. I will send the parameter. But against what? So how will identify against what record? Table name also I need to pass. So that's why here is the last processed value LPV. This should be table name. You can say T name. Table name. This is the last processed value LPV. Okay. Now you come here. You define those two parameters. LPV last processed value is going to be. You can say varchar. Next table name. Table name. It can be a table name can be a varchar only. This is also. I can say table also. Okay, just I need to create these three. I hope everybody understood. Please let me know if anybody is not clear on these things. I will explain once again, because once you understand these things, everything is done. Clear to all of you? Okay, come here. See, database is ready. Just go to resource. Let's turn on the firewall first thing. Okay, just see your client IP. I have not added. Just click add client IP. Client IP added. Turn on other Azure services. Will connect to this server now. Save it. It is saving. Okay. Yes, it is saved successfully. Now click OK. Now go to your overview page. Let's copy this server name. Okay. Now I will open Azure Data Studio. So click new connection. Enter your server name here. Okay, next SQL authentication, let me enter username. Let me enter password here. Okay. Next database name, Cloud Pandit, SQL DB, Incremental. I think it will work even if I give. So it is connected. Now just expand this. It will come in sometimes. Right click on this, click new query. Okay, there is a new query page. Now it is going to expand everything. Yeah, that's okay, but we know we don't have any tables. Let me just copy all the things which I have here. Let's copy all these things. Let's come here. Okay. Let's try to do one by one. Okay. Other is, yeah, that's okay. Let's create. See, I'm creating customer table and I'm inserting the few records into customer table. Run it. See, 3 rows affected. Now let me create the watermark table and insert this one record. Syntax error because this should be value. Values. Copy these two and run it. See, one row affected. Now let me create the stored procedure as well. Run it. What happened? Help you add the table name. Oh, this should be T name. At the rate T name. So I'm just giving. So it's a not case sensitive, right? SQL is a case insensitive. So it can be capital, here you can pass small letters. Okay. So but it will understand both the same. Okay, because it's a case insensitive. Now we have all these things. Let's fire one by one query and we'll see whether it is working or not. What we can do, we can remove this. Select star from first table. Run it. Okay, we have these records. Now I will select star from watermark. Run it. See, this is my customer table data. This is my watermark table. Okay. Now we have a stored procedure, right? What that stored procedure? Watermark underscore USP. Okay. This is the stored procedure. This stored procedure will take two things. Last process value. Let's say last process value I'm saying 100. For which table? I'm going to say customer table. Okay. Let's run the. See, one row affected. Now we'll go and check the watermark table. Now it will update with 100 because I'm passing 100 to this. Now let me reset this one to the 0. I'm updating last process value is 0 comma for first table. Select star from watermark. Now you see it came to the previous. I resetted the table data. Now customer table I have processed up to 0 records. This is my customer table which is having some records. This is my stored procedure which I'm using to update my watermark table. Now you see these two records. Clear, friends? Now you are clear, right? So now what I will do, I will just go to my storage account. Let's go to the storage account. Go to resource. I want to create any container. I will create the containers dynamically. Or from ADF, we will create the container. Come to data factory. Let's click go to resource. Click author and monitor. Click monitor tab. Click new. Let me create the linked service. We need to create the linked service for Blob. Let's create a linked service for Blob. ls Azure Blob storage. By using account key, I'm going to connect. Subscription is this. Storage account name is storage account incremental. Cloud Fund storage incremental created. You no need to test it. It will connect, friends. Okay. Click new. SQL database. Let's search for SQL database. Click Azure SQL database. Click continue. This is ls Azure SQL DB. Use this connection. Server name is incremental. Database name is this. Let me enter the username and password. Test connection. As we enter the credentials, you need to test the connection. Connection successful, then create it. Here, if for Blob storage, key loaded automatically, so we no need to test connection. Okay. Come to author tab. Let's create a direct pipeline. Okay. Click new pipeline. So here I can say that this pipeline is PL for data is for DB to log incrementally. Okay, so fine. Now you know what we need to take. First we need to take the lookup activity, right? So lookup, I will just bring the lookup. Lookup is for what? Lookup get max value. To get max value. Lookup to get max value, right? So how to get max value settings? Create a new data set. This is basically for SQL database. Max value of which table, friends? Max value of which table? You want to see? You see the tables here. Can you tell me? Max value I need to get for what table? Very good. So I need to get the max value of the first table. Okay. Now, so custom table is available in the SQL database. So I need to create a data set for SQL database. Continue. This one I can say DS for Azure SQL DB. Okay. And here I can say that it's generic data set. This is the generic data set because this is the same data set I can use in multiple places. I will tell you why. Click linker service. So here I'm not selecting any table. So these kind of data, the same data set I can use in multiple places. So I'm not selecting any table. I'm going to fire a query. So what kind of query I will fire here? I will fire query something like this. Select star from which table this is? Custom table. So do you want to do select star or max? Max CID as max value. Okay, let's preview the data. See, max value is how much, friends? As of now we have 3, so that's why we are getting max value 3. Now same kind of way, just clone this. Okay, this is not to get the max value, to get lookup get LPV. What is LPV? Last process value. Get LPV. Let me just write. Get LPV, last process value. For that, go to settings, same data set, generic data set. Only query you can change. This query is basically because my watermark table is also there in same data set. So select star from watermark table. So now the question is, do you, so you have a multiple, you have a multiple records, maybe multiple tables you have for the incremental load. Now you need to tell which table you want to go with the incremental, where table name. Okay, I have given table name or T name. In watermark you see table name, where table name equal to custom table. I need to get the custom table. Okay, custom table last process value I need to get. See, now you just click preview data. You see now what you are going to get. What happened? Select star. Oh, it's not a watermark table, it's a watermark. That's all. Just preview data. See, now you are getting table name is cust, last process value is 0. Clear to all of you now? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pawan, for your continuous reply. Okay, fine. Now go to copy. Bring the copy activity. Now I will pass these 2 values. Okay. In copy side source. So here also I will use same data set because this time also I want to fire a query on the database. So I will use same data set to say that I am going to fire this query on the database. Okay, that query I will write something like this. So how you can write, you see, add dynamic content. Okay, so before this, what I wanted to do, I want to do something like this. So I'll just debug it. I want to see the output of these 2 lookup activities because you need to understand this. So both succeeded. Last processed value, you go to last processed value. This is important. See, output dot first row. I am just taking first row, output dot first row dot last processed value. I need to ask. What I need to ask? Can you tell me, friends? At the rate activity of what activity it is? It is a lookup activity. You know, at the rate activity of lookup dot output dot. In this output, the first object is first row again. Output dot first row dot last processed value. Isn't it clear, friends? Now you see I'm just forming here, otherwise you'll forget. Output dot first row dot last processed value. So I'm going to write something like, see, output dot first row dot last processed value. So before that you will have a activity. Okay, so now you see I'm going to use all of this. Understood, friends? So this lookup activity, last processed value activity, see, get last processed value, output is this output dot first row dot last processed value I need to take. Okay, here I just remove the breakpoints. Come here. So here I'm going to fire some query, right? Add dynamic content. Now you see I'm going to say something like that. Select star from first table where PID, where CID greater than what? CID greater than what? Last processed value. Last processed value means LPV lookup. Okay, lookup LPV lookup output dot. Next, tell me, friends. Next, tell me.
First row.
Very good. First row dot.
Last process.
Very good. Last processed value. Okay. So these things, let me just put it in a curly braces. Okay, at the rate activity of lookup output dot first row dot last process. This is the query I need to fire. Okay, this is the dynamic value. That's why you cannot able to preview the data. Now come to sync. Come to sync. Now sync side, it's not a database, right? So it's a new data set. It's a blob storage. Now you need to create a new data set. Blob storage as a CSV I'm loading, or JSON as a JSON you want to load, you can load that. Okay, let's go with these file formats. I will explain one day. I will take a session on one day, because the problem is you will not be able to read the data. Okay, so that's why let's go with the JSON. Click continue. This you can say DS for Azure block storage. This sync. Use this linked service. Container name. Let me just say that. Yeah, let's hard code it. Okay, we know dynamic parameter, data set parameters and all. So JSON data. I'm just giving. Okay, click OK. That's all. Yeah, you don't have any data, you cannot import schema. Click none, click OK. Till here I hope everybody is clear. Okay, now after that, finally what I need to do?
Stored procedure.
Stored procedure. Bring the stored procedure. For this stored procedure, just go to stored procedure. Let it be same name. If you want to change the name, you can pin. This is the linked service. Stored procedure name is, this is the one which we have created. Watermark underscore USB. Import parameters. It will tell you what parameters we need to pass. LPV. What is the LPV? Again, same, right? You just have to tell last processed value. So what is the last processed value? So now last processed value, you need to get it from the max value, because you copied up to 3. So now you need to say max value 3. You need to pass it to the stored procedure, so that stored procedure will update value 3 in the watermark table. Okay, output dot. How do you know what you need to write? For that, cancel this once. Click on this canvas. You see here, get max value. Click on this output. See, if you want to get value 3 max value, then you need to say get value activity dot output dot first row dot max value. Clear? I'm going to pass that. Come here. LPV. Click on this. Come down. Get max value dot output dot first row dot max value. I hope you are clear, right? Just click on that. Next, come here. Click on this T name. Table name. How do you pass table name? Table name is there in this activity, last processed value. Just to preview data. You no need to preview the data. 1 second. Just you cancel this, not required. See in LPV output, you see you have last processed value. You also have a table name. This is the table name. Against this table, you need to update the last processed value 3. Now you need to say activity of output dot first row dot table name. Table name. Okay. That I'm going to pass now from here. Click on this. Click add dynamic content. Come down. Last processed value output dot first row dot table name. Okay, click finish. Okay, I'm done with the pipeline. Please let me know if any questions or any doubts before I execute. Okay, let me execute once. So now you know the max value is 3, last processed value is 0. Now 3 records I will copy, then I will update my watermark table with the last processed value is 3. Okay, we'll check all those things. Sorry. Okay, I will analyze each and everything in detail, don't worry. Now we'll see one by one. Let it succeed. See, let's go to the last processed value. What is the output? In output, you see last processed value, we know cust and 0. This is correct. Now go to get max value. Max value is 3. This is also clear, friends. Now can you tell me how many records it should copy?
3 records.
3 records. We'll go and see. See, the number of records read is 3, number of records written is 3, right? So what value we have passed to storage procedure? See, last processed value we confirmed that up to 3 records we copied. For which table? Cust table. Now we'll do one by one. Let's go to the destination blob storage. Refresh this. Go inside this JSON data. Let's go inside. Let's see whether we have 3 records or not. Click edit. See, 3 records came in a JSON format. Clear? Now fine. Now go to the database. Let's check the watermark value now. Watermark value is 3. Okay. Now if I debug pipeline once again, can you tell me how many values will be copied now? Good. So it's going to copy only all. Okay, right. 0 records. It is going to copy now. Okay, you know the last get max value is how much? 3. Let's see whether we are getting 3 or not. See, we are getting 3. Max value is 3. We are getting. Next, last processed value we are getting 3. Right. For cust table. So how many records it should copy? 0. We'll see that yes, 0 records to copy. What is the stored procedure? Stored procedure will get again last process value is 3 and cust table for cust table. Now you go to storage account, refresh this. You got a file, but it's a 3 bytes. So meaning there is no data in this. You will not have any data in this. See, you don't have any data. Refresh this. You don't have any data. Understood? Now go back. Go back to the last process value. Let's select this two. Now you see this is the last process value 3. Now what I will do, I will go to cust table and I will add 2 more records or 1 record will add. Insert enter cust table values. Cust table is 4. You can say 5. Yeah. Delete something like this. Okay. I'm just inserting 2 more records. Let's insert. Now I inserted. Let's check these 2. Now you see the variation is I have 2 more records added into my table. Now I just updated last process value is 3, meaning up to 3 records I copied 1, 2, 3, but 4 and 5 are the new records. We'll see what will happen now when I run pipeline. Come here, debug. So can you tell me what is the max value now? What is the max value I'll get?
5.
Max 5. What is the last processed value?
3.
Yes, sir.
3,
So how many records I will copy into my destination?
2,
What my stored processor will receive max value?
5.
Will
5.
update 5. Very good. Now you will see one by one. Let's come here. See, this is the last processed value is 3. Now max value is 5. Copy activity will copy only 2 records. You see, rows read 2, rows written 2. The stored procedure received the max value, last processed value is 5 because we copied up to 5 records. Table name is cached. Okay, let's go to storage account. Refresh this. When you refresh, you will see only this is the time 818. This is the file which we got now. Let's open this and see what data we have in this. We will have only new data 3, 4, 5. Okay, clear. Clear to all of you friends. Next thing is one more thing. Watermark table we need to check. Let's check now. Both are in sync, right? Last process value is 5, max value is 5. So both are in sync. Now even if I run pipeline, what will happen? Nothing is going to happen. It is not going to copy any records. Okay, so one more thing that was missed, that is last time you remember friends, when I was copying the data, I tried to create the partitions year, month, day. So there was the issue. So actually I am not sure how many of you are there, but same thing was working after some time. So let me show you that. So now what I want to do, whatever data I'm loading now, the data I want to load it into the under JSON data. It should create a year. Otherwise, let's create a new folder. This is cust, right? So I will say cust data. Under that, it should create the year, month, day folder. Okay, how you can create that? So you need to say same format data. In this, I'm going to use something called UTC time. UTC time now. So in this year, month, and all those things, I want to create a YYY. Okay, so take all of this, put the slash, put this, this. Here I need to say mm. Here I need to say dd. Okay, let me just tell that. See now, in what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to create the year, month, day folder. So that's why, see, here you will get a YYY, then slash means under this you'll have a this folder. This is what month folder. Under this we have a date folder. Okay, let's click finish. Okay, now I will run the pipeline, but before I run the pipeline, let me just that is for files, right? Source is blob. Yeah, that we are going to see our session. We have that session on I think on Tuesday we have that session. Okay, Tuesday we have that session. Tomorrow we have a multiple table copy. On the day before, like on Tuesday, we will have a multiple files incremental copy directly. It's not a single file again. So because we already have some knowledge, so directly we will go with the multiple tables. Okay, so you can see that for that I already created, everything is ready. It's incremental copy, new and changed files, right? So for that I already, let me just show you at the end of today's session. Okay, so now we need to execute this. Before that, what I wanted to do, I want to update the watermark table value to watermark underscore USP. I will say the last plus value is 0. I will give, and then for which table? Cust table. Now you understood. I am resetting my watermark table. Now how many records I will get when I run my pipeline? How many records it will copy when I run my pipeline, friends? Why 0? Last processed value is 0, meaning get max value is 5, last processed value is 0. Greater than 0 means 5 records I will get. Those 5 I will update, then I will update the stored procedure. Don't confuse. See, my copy activity is succeeded. Now we will come here, go to blob storage. Come back, refresh this. We'll see custody data. In custody data, we will see year folder. Under that, we have a month folder. Under that, we have a date folder. Under date folder, we will have actual data. Let's open this. We will have a 5 records. See, we have a 5 records. Okay, clear, friends? This is clear to all of you. Any questions or something? Please let me know. Otherwise, let me just show you. So in this pipeline, I implemented in this data factor, I implemented the incremental file copy. Okay, multiple things you can able to do. Just come to other tab. Okay, if you want to see some kind of output, I will tell you, but it is difficult for you to understand at this time. Now, for you to understand, let me just give you some sample things. Okay, so I don't record all these things. Now let's go to storage account, which I have. This is our Tuesday session. I'm just giving you overview now. Just click on cloud from the storage. Click on containers. Okay, click on this. So let me just delete all this folder. Go inside this cloud panel folder. So let's say I have a lot of files in this. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I will just put some more files in this. Now I will just update a few more files in this. Those files immediately I want to load it. I want to pick only the files which I have updated, which I have loaded in last 10 minutes, something like that. Okay, incremental means, so you need to identify what are the newly added files, right? So how you can identify that? So for that, I'm going to update I'm going to load the new files. Before that, this is the first table, this is the data factor. One second. Come here. Just 1 second. Let me connect to the another database. In another database, I have a kind of a metadata. Okay. Let's say you just click on this, right click. You have a edit connection. I want to edit the connection. This connection information here you see. In this database, I have everything ready, I guess. Oh, let me enter. See, this is the database. Okay, in this database, you just expand the tables, custody table and watermark table. Here also I created the watermark table. Just select the top 1000, something like that. We'll see what data we have in this. Friends, I'm going to explain once again. If you're interested, you can stay. Otherwise, you can leave. No issue. Okay. Select a star from watermark. See, what is this? Cloud and SQL server. I connected to the correct one only. Let me just check the columns. Yeah. I think I connected to the wrong one. Let me connect to the database from here. I think there we have a clumsy. Click on query data. I think that is something metadata. See, this is the metadata. Okay. So what it indicates is, so I want to fetch the files which has loaded from this particular time. Okay, let's say. So there is a lot of explanation I need to give for this. So with the simple things we will go. The simple thing that I want to go is, I will just show you. Update metadata. Set. I want to set last processed value. I want to say last processed value equal to, I will say now current time. I will give current time is 2020 11:22. What is the current time? India time is 8, so I can say 08:31:00. Okay, from this file I'm just updating because we have only one record. I can able to update this. I update, and now you see select a star from metadata. See, in this metadata, you have a cloud pandit, you have a last processed value. This meaning up to 8:31, I copied already files. Whatever files loaded into Blob storage after this, I want to pick those things. Okay. Now you see what will happen. Now I'm just loading the new files into Blob storage. Upload this. Browse it. Go to cloud pandit dataset. Let's go with some ORC files. These two ORC files I'm uploading. Just click upload. You understood? These are the only two ORC files I uploaded now. CPU ORC1, CPU ORC2. These two files only it should pick when I when I run my pipeline. Now you see those two files. What I wanted to do, I want to load it into another container called output container. You see, I don't have any output container, but I will pass that output container name into that. It should load the data. We'll see that. Now come here. Not this one. I think come here. Let's click debug. When you click debug, it will ask you to enter your container. This is, I will say output container. Let's put. Let's click OK now. So I will explain the flow later, but we'll see whether it is going to work or not. You see. Copy activity succeeded. Let's check how many files it loaded. How many files it loaded? Only 2. Where it loaded? It loaded into output container. We'll see whether it created output container and it loaded the correct files or not. Go to output. See, only the files which we have loaded. Now we'll go back and see this is the value which updated. Now we'll see whether it is updating the last processed value in this metadata table or not. 831. Now you see 830 to 59. Up to this time it is loaded. Up to this time it is loaded. Automatically this time also will update. Okay, that's how the pipeline will be there. This is basically I implemented for the single file, but same thing you just have to put it under for each to process the multiple files. That's all changes we need to do. Same one copy here. One thing I'm just going to use some set variable because this is mandatory in this particular pipeline. Okay, this is very important variable. That's why. Okay, so we'll see this particular session I will take on a Tuesday. Tomorrow we have a multiple table incremental load, and Tuesday we will see this. Okay, clear?
Sir, how to install this SSM application? Just give URL. We'll go on. We'll download it. That one.
Sure. Let me stop the recording.